My name is Cynthia Gloria, glory, hallelujah, Simmons. And I've been a member of Good Neighbor since January. I paid my money and all that. Since I have recently moved here from Harrisburg, you know Harrisburg is the state, is the capital, right?
Yes.
Okay. I moved here from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, at the insistence of my 4 daughters, of which 2 I live with right now, one around the corner and one 10 minutes away. And what happened, my cousin told me about Good Neighbor. And she calls me mom. She's my cousin, but she calls me mom, okay? And she comes to Good Neighbor to volunteer sometime at the birthday party that we have each month. So I said, oh, okay. She brought me over here. And the first day that I came, Karen said, this is Miss Glow, and she is Senator Williams' mother-in-law. Well, I didn't know she was gonna say all that, but anyhow. And she introduced me to everybody, and they welcomed me that very first day that I met them. And then Karen said, okay, I want you to sit over there. In fact, right where I'm sitting right now, I want you to sit with those 2 ladies over there. I said, okay. So I went over there, and I met the 2 ladies, and they told me their names. I said, oh, I remember your names because I have a friend named Edna, and I have a friend named Marsha in Harrisburg. So we bonded right away. This is my home away from home.
All right.
Okay? The van picks us up, brings us here. Someone meets us at the door. Do you have that? You know, somebody at your work meets you? No. But we have someone that meets us at the door, smiling. How you doing, Miss Glow? Well, they call me Miss Glow, Miss Gloria, or whatever. As long as God knows who I am, I don't care. But you know what? Since I've been here, I've been so happy because I kept telling my daughters I did not want to live in Philadelphia. I'll come visit y'all, but I don't want to live in Philadelphia. And then finally, a little bird told me, you need to, it's time. It's time to be with your girls. So I'm so happy to be. We have so many activities here. It's unbelievable, y'all. Did anyone go in the back and see our craft room? Yes. Our exercise room? And our Bible study room? We do everything around here. And I just couldn't believe it. When they told me about, oh, did anyone ever hear about drumming? I never heard about drumming either. Well, a lady comes in here with this big plastic container, and she has a big exercise ball, and we have the sticks. I don't know if they call them sticks or not, but we beat on the drum.
All right.
And that exercise all these muscles up here, you know, wherever. I said, oh, I like that. Okay. So then we have another person come here, Mr. Kyle. Mr. Kyle is a sweetheart. And he gets you going, whether you want to go or not. You know, he said, you have to move. And I'm looking, the first day I met him, I had my cane, and he said, come on, you can do it, you can do it. Okay, so we do chair exercises, and I love that. I can do aerobics sometimes.
All right.
And he encourages us to do the best that we can. But check this out. We have Bible study on Thursdays. And I haven't found a church yet. But it doesn't matter because you can pray wherever you want to go, wherever you are. And I found so many people that's in your corner. If you have problems or whatever, but you still learn about God. Okay? And then we have a craft room. The same room though. And I do crafts. I love to make cards. I have done everything else, but now I love to make cards. And when they told me we have a birthday party celebration every month. I said, oh, that's up my alley. So the ladies that I sit with said, Gloria, would you make us some cards? And I said, okay. So I've been making them cards for the ladies every month, and they just love them. And it's coming from my heart. When they tell me who they want the card for, I said, well, what do they like? Or what's their hobbies? And I try to match the cards to that person. I am so happy to be here because I was sitting home for a couple months before I came here, and I was in denial. I was looking at Murder, She Wrote and Hallmark and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to do anything. I was giving my girls a fit. You know what a fit is, right? Okay. And they said, Mom, act like you're not happy. And I said, yes, I am. But I wasn't. And finally, my daughter said, well, you have a craft room. Why don't you go in there and craft? And as soon as I went in that room and started making my cards, that's when I finally decided I'm going back to the center and find out what they're all about. And I'll tell you, I love it here. It's my home away from home. Thank you.